So now we're being told that this problem with their thoughts takes away their shalom. And so if you're having a problem with your peace, with your shalom, it may start above your shoulders. There may be something going on in your thinking process that's problematic. And so you may want to just go ahead and address that. Think about what it is you're thinking about. Ask the question, is there something in my thought processes that's taking away my ability to know the way of peace? Do you really think that it's describing a bunch of just absolutely stupid, moronic people that should know better and just choose wicked, crooked, dumb things? Or do you think this is talking about a bunch of people who absolutely think what they're doing is right, is going to lead to what they want, and it's just not working? The second one, right? Okay, so he's not talking to just a bunch of like stubbornly dumb, just blockheaded people. He's talking to people that have chosen, because of their thinking process, I know better. That's what they're choosing, the I know better. Moses told them, actually Yahweh told them, Moses was the spokesperson, and he warned them, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. And guess what? They did it. And it happened. Now, we should feel bad for them on some levels because this was foolishness that brought punishment on them. But we should feel really good that Yahweh said it and it actually happened. In other words, the bad things, when Yahweh says they will happen, should just as much strengthen our faith as the good things. The point is, Yahweh said it and it happened. That's the key. He says, we look for right ruling, but there's none. No, they're looking for things to be done the way they want it to be done. And Yahweh says, it doesn't work that way. You don't get to decide what's right and wrong. I do. That's what he tells us. That's the covenant. The covenant of Exodus 19 says, I talk, I decide, I lay it down. You agree to just do what I say. Now, on a human level, that's frightening. On a human level, that's dictatorial control, whatever abuse can be in it. But we're talking about the loving, benevolent, compassionate, merciful King of all things who brought you into this world, whose desire is to give you the first half of the chapter, Deuteronomy 28. All the blessings and all the abundance, and he wants to wipe away every tear and cause nobody to have any harm or fear ever again. All you got to do is trust him and do what he says. You see, because everybody's so convinced they are right, you can't bring the truth in. Nobody's going to listen now. Why would they listen? We're already right. Ever try to talk to some of your friends about this stuff? They're not listening, are they? Well, because they're right and you're wrong. That's what they'll tell you. And so they're so right, they know they're right, then why would they listen to you with a different right? Whoever turns away, though, makes himself a prey. In other words, those who do not like that you're now stepping out and doing something different are going to attack you. You become a target because you're not the one you're not with us anymore. And everybody runs around, unfortunately, with this, you're either with us or against us. It can't be that you're either with us or you're checking something else out, or you're with us or you're exploring something or you're working something, or whatever it is. See, that's kind of the cult definition, because people will accuse us of being a cult. Every group accuses the other group of being a cult. Look, I'll give you a definition, or at least a sign of a cult. How they treat you if you start to think differently or want to leave. I was working with everybody. Philippians 2 says you have to work out your own salvation, not mine and not anybody else's. Allow them space. The only time we don't allow the space is if in a congregational setting, if what the person is trying to work out is now causing a disturbance in the body, and they're trying to bring they're proselytizing to the crowd to try to get everybody onto their side. If you got a belief and you got to walk it out, have your belief and walk it out. Don't try to convince everybody else to join you. If Abba revealed it to you, great. He'll reveal it to somebody else too at some point. You don't have to go revealing it to you. All of a sudden, everybody's an idea evangelist. Stop being the idea evangelist. That's the intercessor. It's not just the one saying, I'm going to sit there before the throne and plead on your case and take the blame for everything. That mainstream Christian sort of, Messiah did all these things. I'm not saying he doesn't do some of those things. I'm saying here the word intercessor is being used also, by the way, with Yeshua. He came in the flesh and talked to us and said, you need to do this stuff. This is not a joke. This is not a game. And he scolded and chastised the leadership, and he encouraged the people to come and do things right. That's interceding. And then he discipled a bunch of guys to go out and do the same thing. Get in the midst of all the madness and put up a giant bright light of, hey, come over here. We have an answer to the madness. You're not just brought near because the blood covered you and you're forgiven. You're brought near because once you're forgiven, you now have access to the path that leads to the truth and the light and all that other good stuff. The blood doesn't cover you to then say, okay, now whatever you do, it doesn't matter. It now makes it so that everything you do does matter, because without the blood, everything you did wouldn't have mattered. You were dead in your trespasses. That maybe that's very different, and maybe that has to be profound. We'll put that in like an in focus or a little blurb or something. When you're covered by the blood, now and only now that what you do matters. So he's telling them, look, and this is what you got to love about Yahweh. Well, there's a million things you need to love about Yahweh. But you got to love that whenever you hear him pounding them right in the teeth, he always tells them there's going to be a moment where this is going to turn around, if you're willing to turn around. He always gives them that understanding that, yes, you're punished, but there's a way eventually that this will work if you accept and embrace the lessons of your punishment. We have a problem in this group, not this group right here, I mean in the Messianic body, where there is a problem with those that either A, completely have a complete disdain and disregard that the sages or the rabbis or anybody ever knew anything that was useful, or the other side of the pendulum, it should be treated as Torah. Both sides wrong. Over the years, the wise men that have been in the body or in our generational going back have learned a few things. Some of it may be useful. However, none of it is Torah. So let's not confuse the issue. Oh, Father told me to tell you. Oh, I had a vision. Yahweh told me to tell you. I should come in here every week and tell you, Yahweh told me to tell you, and then I'll read you what he said. Right there, see? Everything I said today when I was reading this, that's what Yahweh told me to tell you. I don't have any new separate insight or revelation for you, okay?